proud to be sponsored by Diamond Bright, the car care products that have been keeping the furious fleet looking their best for a long time already. To find all you need to keep your car clean and protected, follow the link below to diamondbright.co.uk. Well, hello, welcome back to Furious Driving, and the rain has stopped long enough for me to put a camera outside and film an introduction. I was going to do some stuff on the convertible because I've made a few starts on little jobs that I can sort of turn into a full video for you very soon indeed, hopefully later this week. More, not so much MOT prep as just making the car nice prep. So, you know, getting it back into being a real car. I was going to do, I've started but haven't finished it because of the rain, a cleaning the Alpha video after being away in workshops for about 5-6 months and off the road for nearly a year not being cleaned. So there's 2 videos I've started, but the weather today hasn't really been on my side. But I've got lots to do on this car instead. So I'm here in with the V8 Rover. I have been waiting, let's try and put this down somewhere it's not going to scratch anything or itself. Gently. Been waiting on exhaust gaskets because I ordered these from Rimmer Brothers, and I was waiting and they never turned up, and I went and checked my bank account, I went and checked my order basket on Rimmer's, and despite the fact I thought it had said check out and done, it still had these sat in my order basket like 2 weeks later. So they hadn't been ordered, so they finally turned up now. So I can actually fit the exhaust manifolds, and then once I've got those in there I can move on to everything else in the engine bay, because those are the biggest thing at the bottom and everything else kind of goes on top. So let's crack on with that. Here's my other manifold, the more shinier one. I think that one's going to go on that side because that's slightly more visible than this side. This one is going to spend a bit longer shining up, then I realised it's going to kind of blow off as soon as I start driving anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So that can sit on top of there. I've had these ARP manifold studs waiting for about 2 years when I bought everything else for the engine build. Those are all part of it. It's amazing how much space it all takes up. When you've got a car in lots of pieces, it takes a lot more room than an actual car. So a lot of this garage is filled with just little bits like these 2 big cardboard boxes full of rubber hoses to go in the engine bay. And the lockup where the white Rover is, that one is also filled with bits like the radiator and the wings, all just parked there in the way. So once this is all back together, I'm going to have so much space to play with in here. Now then, how am I going to do this without dropping everything on the floor? There's a triple gasket, that's excessive. Yep, it's a triple gasket. This is going to be one of those jobs that takes like 9 hands, isn't it? Just figure out which way around these go. They can only really go one way, otherwise they won't fit around the spark plugs. Oops. They can only really go one way, or else they won't fit around the spark plugs. Those are new spark plugs, by the way. What's the betting I'll lose a washer doing this in a second? Yep, there you go. Exactly what I feared would happen. Let's do one side at a time. Oh, this is so getting in the way. Oh! Right, that's one half in. Well, top half. Let's see if I can get the bottom half in as well. The front half even. I don't know, this half, wherever I am. What day is it? There we go. Yuck, how's that so dirty? It's all brand new. I've got some torque settings somewhere for this, I better go find them. And obviously fit the bottom half. Oh, my workbench is going to look empty without these little ARP bolts sitting there after 2 years or so. They are lovely and shiny though. this is going to be really exciting. This whole engine is just so shiny and new and lovely. I'm very excited about this whole lot actually working, hopefully. Heavy on hopefully. I was hoping to get a startup video going during the Christmas holidays, but I went online this morning to go and order some brake-in oil, which I don't know why I've been so slow doing, to be honest. There's a place over in Sussex that does 5 litres of Miller's brake-in oil for about 20 odd quid. And I've been putting off buying it for ages for no particular reason. I went online to order it today. They kind of shut for the holidays. It said, yeah, we're closing from the 23rd. I rang up to ask a question, no one answered, so I think it might have already shut, which is a shame. And my question was though, they sell it in quantities of 5 litres. I need 5.5 litres. I was going to say, can I mix in regular oil for the last half litre, because I don't want to buy 5 litres, basically a gallon, for the sake of an extra cupful. Can I just dilute it a tiny bit and save myself an awful lot of money? And wastage, really, because it's going to sit here in the garage forever if I just buy 5 litres and only use 4.5 left over. So while I was down the back end of the garage hunting for a 10mm 3/8 drive socket to go onto this torque wrench, it started drizzling again. The camera started getting wet while I wasn't watching. And it says 25 foot-pounds of torque, which is what I've just set this to. Tighten that off, and then I can pop this last one in there and tighten them all up. This is the one I can't reach very easily. I actually bought a pair of torque wrenches going from almost no pound-feet at all up to quite a lot of pound-feet, purely to build this engine, because before that I'd always just had an old one I'd been given many years ago, which is quite a wellier. It can do really, really high torque stuff, but it's not so great for low-end stuff and sort of real precision. So I picked these up at the NEC a couple of years back when I started this project. And they had a fair bit of use on this one. I thought these were tighter than they were. Actually, they're only finger tight, weren't they? So it's not a very good 10mm socket. It's slipping really badly. I've got another 10mm somewhere. I did find one other 3/8 drive 10mm socket down the back. Didn't look very promising either though. Need to go and get another set of them. I've got hundreds of them from just random sets. What I need to do is go and do like a metal or a wooden stick with nails in, so I can make up a complete set of them in order. It's not such a ragtag jumble of the things. Alright, everything's now nipped up to somewhere close to feeling tight. 25 foot-pound. Well, that's one side done and looking all the better for it. Now the super shiny one can go on. This is, well, super shiny, but harder to get to because, oh man, the car is up against the wall. I'm not dragging it outside today in the rain. Oh, bum. One down. Oh. Well, that was easy to get one in. I wonder where the one I dropped went. Because it never seemed to land. Well, not only is it harder to work on this side with the wall being in the way, it's also just started chucking down with rain, so the cameras had to come indoors, and this one seems to be slightly tight on the distance between the two ends of the ports, so I can't get them both bolted in at once. So I'm going to have to go in, well, I've decided I'm going to try and go in that end, the back end first, furthest away from me. And then try and pull, give it some tension and make it come closer. I did finally just find that bolt I dropped at the very beginning, and it got wedged between the starter motor and the engine block. So lucky I did take the manifold back out again, otherwise I'd never have found that. So I can get half in, oops, I can get the two in down one end quite happily, but as soon as I go to the other end, it gets really difficult. or if it needs that centre webbing that was taken out for style purposes in order to maintain its shape. It's like under tension or something when it's made. You can actually see there is quite a difference of like a millimetre or so between the hole in the manifold and the thread in the block, or the head. So that's going to be a bit of a problem to overcome. Now the question is it wrong at the bottom as well, I wonder? No, it's more or less okay at the bottom. That's interesting. Well, that's really awkward because it fits on the bottom studs, but the top studs are wonky. So, I mean, they've been welded on in the wrong angle, perhaps. Well, that's irritating. Really irritating, in fact. I've just lost another stud. Where the hell did that go? Oh, no, it's in the box still. Right, okay, so I'm just going to bolt it on 3-studded, or semi-studded, I suppose, for now, and then when it goes over to Valley Gas to get the tailpipe, the Y pipe and the back pipes fitted, then we can get that corrected. That's really annoying. Oh, I thought it was going to be home dry today. I thought it was going to be done. It'll still start up, but it's going to sound faulty. Yeah, so they're going to have to slice off that end from the pipe and reposition it, or possibly re-drill it. I suppose you could re-drill it, couldn't you? If you had a drill in a stand, like a pillar drill, you could re-drill that and that'd be okay. I don't have a pillar drill, so I can't do that. So I'll put in 6 out of 8 bolts, suboptimal, and put the rest of that job on hold. That's really, that's a Christmas not miracle, a Christmas bummer, basically. It's so hard to do this from this angle. If I could stand just there, that'd be a doddle, like it was on that side, but it's not. It's a really difficult angle to stand at. Right, well, I've had to not exactly give up on that driver's side manifold, but I can't go any further without like heavy tools and seriously good welding equipment, better than what I've got here and my abilities, because I think it's going to have that end flange bit cut and rotated, or a pillar drill through, I don't know. So that's going to have to go to a workshop or something to get that sorted out. So I'm moving on to trying to reconnect stuff around the engine bay, starting with the throttle linkage and playing the game of how on earth did this all come apart all that time ago. So I've got the Rover repair operation manual, and I'm just trying to work out exactly how that should look. So that should go onto there, the long one onto there. There's a short one, which I had a second ago, which goes into a little hole in the bottom of the heater box. And there's a little tang that comes off the side, which goes down to the kickdown thingamajig. Just got to find it all now. Oh, dear me. And with the door open, it's starting to blow rain through, which is fantastic. There's the shorter other end, and that picture shows that sticks at that kind of angle. So, question then is, of course, where did it all bolt up to? That must bolt onto there, but the throttle cable does not want to bend down that far. That looks massively Heath Robinson, the way that kind of just shoves together. Yeah, that does appear to be how that bolts onto the top of the engine. But there's a lot of pressure from the throttle cable to do that. I need to go back and refer to another P6 before I commit too hard to this. Now that does seem to work, good. This linkage looks like it should have some kind of cage to hold it together. It looks like it's been broken for many years. Bolted this end in, I do need to find some means of pinning this in here. I think maybe if I drilled out, or pull out this little pin that's in here already, like a twisted wire actually. Yeah, it looks like it was a twisted wire that's holding it all together. So I will find a twisted wire, or a wire that is twistable, and reconnect that. And there's also the linkage down to the kick down, which has fallen the wrong way up. So I need to be underneath the car to push that the way around, and then I can pop that back together. Hang on, can I reach that from here? I can feel the spring twanging. Ah, damn it, I wish I hadn't put the exhaust manifold back in there. No, I'll have to do that from underneath the car. Can't reach that, then I can push that up there, and those two can fit together. Now, where on earth did all the pipes go to? Is a really good question. I think I need to go and look at the book again to work out what goes where. I didn't paint this bit. This needs to get painted and go at the front as well. That goes down here. This is all something of a jigsaw puzzle without a picture to follow, because I took this all apart so long ago, I'm really not remembering where everything went anymore. So these two pipes aren't massively dissimilar. This one has got a bit more of a dog leg kink in it. This one is more of a flat S. There are two pipes, inlet and outlet, from the water jacket of the engine going up here to... oh, here we go. That's the old one going down there. You can just see the end of it down there, and the other one goes up there. Question is, which one goes to which? Is it top to top, bottom to bottom? I need to look at a photo. Well, that's handy. The bottom goes to the top, and the top goes to the bottom. That's a very useful diagram. Unfortunately, one thing I have just discovered is that something I put off until later, and later has just arrived, can't see that because I'm in shadow, is that circlip, Jubilee clip thingy down there is rusted to mess and has already been mangled. So I'm not sure I'm going to get that out, because you can't really get a saw in there at all. That's going to be a tricky one. Another thing I need to get on and do, there's so many little niggly things that when you change an engine, everything is different. Everything is changed. This is the bracket which clamps the distributor down and stops it rotating, and you have to hold that in place with that. I took this off to paint it with a satin black finish. And this is where this whole project began, because the drive on the bottom of the distributor was broken. So this very bolt is the reason there's a 4.6 litre engine in this car now. So yeah, one of the many things that need to be buttoned up. I keep finding more and more stuff as I look around this engine bay that needs to be buttoned up. Other things include this earth I just noticed isn't connected, and I just found this pipe which I have no idea where that goes to. Which I think this is, oh, it goes just there. That's a vacuum for the wipers. At least one thing is easily fixed. Well, I've just made two exciting discoveries down the tool end of the garage. First of all, I do own a 10mm 3/8 drive socket. I know that because this is the hanger it came on when I bought it on, because I must have had some real specific task for one of them, and now it's vanished. It must be somewhere. It must be somewhere in this garage or in one of the cars or on the road somewhere. I don't know. It's annoying because I had that and now I need it and it's gone. Oh, we'll have to search high and low, have a bit of a tidy. Once this car's out, I can have a bit more of a tidy. Secondly, my Dremel, which is what I need to get in there and grind that out, is still bust. The chuck broke ages ago. It hasn't fixed itself magically. I did a while ago buy a cheap chuck off Amazon, which was completely useless. I'd forgotten that, so that's still completely dead. So either I need to mail order a working chuck for this thing, or I need to go and buy some Dremel knockoff, which has got a long flexy thing so I can go and drill, cut, you know, grind that old Jubilee off there, and I can then put the new pipe on there. Right, I'm going to call it quits for tonight because I've kind of run out of stuff to do and it's tea time. I'm going to try and put a video up most days, and tomorrow I'm going to move on to the convertible again because I've got a bunch of stuff I started and I want to get that finished and get that car sort of in a position that it can be driving home looking nice and feeling nice when it's coming back from the MOT. And also, if it looks and feels nice, the MOT tester might be a bit more inclined to pass it. You know, if he's looking at a car that's pleasant rather than a car that looks scarily junk, he's going to be more enamoured with it, less looking for faults perhaps. I don't know, maybe psychology isn't part of the MOT test. Also tomorrow, going up for members and Patreons only, is this month's live chat, and also later in the evening it's going to be last month's members and Patreons live chat for all the general public to look at and enjoy. If you'd like to see this month as it comes out, then join up below with the channel members or Patreon's links, which are in the description underneath here right now. Also got live chat next week, either going to do it on Thursday or Friday. I'm not sure which day is New Year's Eve and which day is New Year's Day. I can't remember. I'll figure that out and post it on social media. Yeah, lots more videos coming out, so trying to do a video most days this week, doing on one of the cars, doing something, and yeah, and everything else in between, and a review on Friday. We've got our review of a cool retro car, which I'm hoping you're going to enjoy. Right, take care everybody, have a good night. I'm going to go get some dinner now because it's cold and miserable and rainy. Also, if you want to support the channel, buy a mug. And your tea does taste better in it, probably. Right, I'll see you again very soon.